Most road deaths are explained away with a single word: accident. But in this case, the court asked a different question. When does dangerous driving stop being a mistake and start becoming violence? Returning to this episode of Desert Crime is lawyer Dr. Jabulani Ncube, who first joined us in episode 3. Today, he helps us understand why this case is legally and morally distinct from others of its kind. Welcome back to Desert Crime. This episode tells the story of a collision that changed how Namibia understands accountability on its roads.
This podcast discusses real crimes and may include images and descriptions of violence and sensitive content. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
There are deaths we immediately recognize as a crime. Shots fired, a struggle, a deliberate act, and then there are deaths we almost never see that way. Wrong place, wrong time, a tragic accident. For years, when vehicles killed people on the roads in Namibia, the language used by journalists, police, and courts was simple: unfortunate, inevitable, unplanned, until one collision forced a different question. What happens when a death on the road looks too foreseeable, too avoidable, and too much like a choice?
I want to make you understand that we have what we call the Road Traffic Act. All right. So when it comes to driving, we've got what we call negligent or reckless driving. So that will show you. So negligent driving will be where you have actually failed to observe the rules of the road, and you've basically failed to act like a reasonable person would have done.
It was an ordinary morning on the 29th of December 2014. The stretch of road between Swakopmund and Henties Bay had long been familiar to travelers, tourists on holiday drives, locals returning home, commuters going about their week. But on that day, something would happen that would change how Namibia interprets road deaths. A vehicle was seen driving fast, too fast, beyond what was safe for that stretch of road. It overtook other cars, not just once, but repeatedly, on a blind rise where the shape of the road prevents a clear view of oncoming traffic. Witnesses later told the court that they were alarmed by the speed. Some even reported the driver to the police. But the vehicle kept moving, and then it happened. A head-on collision. Terrible, immediate, unforgiving. By the time the dust settled, 6 lives were lost. 3 were passengers in the vehicle being driven: Dina Pretorius, Charlene Shumbi, J.C. Horn, and 3 were members of a German family on holiday: Marcus Josko, Stephanie Josko, Alexandra Josko. The only survivors were a young teenager from the German tourist family, Antonia Josko, and the driver of the other vehicle. At first, the deaths were reported as tragic, heartbreaking, another story of Namibian roads claiming lives. But as investigators dug into the details, questions began to outpace assumptions. The driver was Jandré Dippenaar. At trial, Dippenaar denied guilt. He said he could not remember the collision or the moments immediately before it. He told the court that he did not believe he would have overtaken another vehicle if he had known it was unsafe to do so.
Recklessness is another level beyond negligence, and that's why you'd find the sentences are different. Now with Dippenaar, he was reckless. If you look at the facts of that case, remember he's overtaking on a blind spot, trying to overtake a number of vehicles.
In August 2024, after a long trial that stretched over years, the Swakopmund Regional Court delivered a verdict that reverberated far beyond the courtroom. Dippenaar was found guilty on 6 counts of murder, not culpable homicide, not reckless driving alone, but murder.
That is a matter of its first of its kind, where in a road traffic accident, a person was not found guilty of culpable homicide. Remember, culpable homicide is about the reasonableness. What would have a reasonable person done under these circumstances? That's culpa now. Now, in his case, it's intention because of the manner in which he drove the vehicle and the state of mind he was in, which then led to the court then saying, no, but you have been found guilty of murder. So the aspect of murder, now the difference is murder is intent. Culpa is negligence, okay? So intent means I intend to do something. So when you look at the evidence in its totality, there was an intention on his side, because you would have known really that if you're overtaking on a blind spot and the other cars coming at that speed, there would have been an accident. So that's the difference. And that is why it's the first matter of its kind ever in Namibia where a person who was driving a motor vehicle was found guilty of murder.
But the trial was not just about a moment of judgment or action. It was about a pattern of risk. When it came to sentencing, the court imposed a 15-year prison term on the 6 murder counts. On top of that, Dippenaar was fined for reckless driving and for driving without a valid license.
Remember, the charge sheet would say you are charged with murder. You murdered Mr. A, murdered Mr. B, murdered Mr. C, murdered Mr. D, murdered Mr. E, murdered Mr. F. So you are facing a count. So it will be murder, 6 counts of murder. You are with me now? So because it's 6 counts of murder, then you obviously have to answer for those. I mean, it would make sense. Imagine if how would you differentiate? If a person murders 1 person and another man murders 6, these people cannot definitely face the same type of sentence. That's why you would find in some instances, if a person murders 2, 3, they'll say you're facing 3 life sentences. The one will be 1 life sentence, because those things are taken into consideration.
The emotional weight of the ruling was heavy. Family members of the victim spoke of the lives shattered, of children who grew up without parents, of plans unfulfilled and futures erased. One witness said that children should bury their parents, not the other way around. Survivors like Antonia Yosko told the court that the crash marked her life forever, a reminder of lost trauma and the fragility of safety.
I just hope to see that he's made accountable for what he's done, and that he can't walk off without having to be punished or having to get some justice done for us. Mr. Dippenaar never came up to me in the last years. Of course, I was a state witness at the beginning, but I testified 7 years ago. There would have been a long time for him to give me his condolences and say that he's sorry. I don't really trust the word he's saying now.
On the civil side, we now know this week that the survivor, the daughter, she actually got paid for 4.something million. Okay, she got damages from court in the amount of 4.5, which Dippenaar should pay. Obviously, the question is, does he have that money? But anyway, I don't know. That's a question for another day.
But the story did not end with sentencing. Dippenaar appealed, challenging his conviction and his sentence. For months, the appeal dragged through procedural issues, delayed records, and legal argument.
Having the case postponed several times in the past 10 years has made it difficult to get closure.
It's a long time that this thing is now carrying on. We, as Namibian families, we pray that the end is now in sight. That the man get whatever sentence the court gave to him is out of our hands. What must happen, must happen. But we beg the court, please let us end. We cannot handle it anymore.
And then, in December 2025, the Windhoek High Court delivered its own judgment. The appeal was dismissed. The conviction was upheld. The 15-year sentence stands. The murder conviction remains intact. In affirming the verdict, the High Court explained that the evidence showed Dippenaar was driving in a dangerous manner. that he had alarmed other road users, that he continued despite warnings, and that he accepted the risk of death when he made his choices.
Defense lawyer Albert Strydom asked the court not to give Dippenaar a lengthy sentence or any form of imprisonment because he is a first-time offender.
Now, in this case, obviously, the fact that he didn't have a previous conviction, that would not have weighed heavily, but it does not take the seriousness of the offense. Are you with me now? So it might have lessened, because when a person who is convicted for the first time and a person who's not convicted, who has previous convictions, they're obviously treated differently when it comes to the manner in which the court metes out its sentence.
So when we talk about accidents, what does this really mean? This case suggests that not all fatal collisions are accidental in the legal sense. If someone's choices show that they foresaw the possibility of death and continued anyway, the law may treat that as accepted risk, not misfortune. 6 people died on a Namibian road, not because fate intervened, but because risk was recognized and then proceeded with. And for the first time, a Namibian court said that acceptance carries the weight of murder.
Let's try our level best to be responsible citizens who actually depopulate the courts and the prison. Because, already we've got people, our correctional facilities are overflowing, and we've got so many serious offenses. People are acting recklessly, either it's through the way we are handling firearms, or it's the way we are handling our vehicles, or it's just the domestic violence, the way we treat the vulnerable people within our community. Let's just be the best citizens, and build the nation to the best of our abilities. That's what I can say right now. And avoid crime.
This has been Desert Crime. Some crimes are committed with intent, some with recklessness, and some, like the collision near Henties Bay, asks us to consider where that line truly lies. Thank you for listening.